Every story has an ending. Does our quest to play the top 100 courses in 10 years have a good ending? I'm Nish.
I'm Chris.
I'm Jim.
And we're here to guide you through this golfing journey. This is the Top 110 Golf Podcast, episode 13, the rankings. So today we're talking about something that almost everyone asks us about when they discuss the challenge, and that's how the courses are rated and ranked. And I know we've brought it up a few times, and we're like, what measure, like how are they doing this? Sort of feels like it's a bit shrouded in mystery. It isn't, like, the information's all out there, but I suppose we're here to lift the veil.
Ooh.
Let's find out what's going on.
Should we be doing that live on air?
It's not maths.
It's not maths. And we're also going to tell you about how we're going to rank and rate the courses ourselves, as well as something we're doing which is called the Dream 18. So we're going to rank individual holes on golf course that we like, which is totally subjective. It's just how we feel on that day, and put it into a Dream 18 holes on a golf course. So if you look at the actual official ratings, there are two lists, aren't there? There's the official top 100 courses on the website, and then there's Golf Monthly. Is that right?
Yeah.
So we've gone with the official top 100 courses, and obviously we explained a couple of episodes ago in the Q&A that we've taken a snapshot of when we started the challenge. That's our 100 courses, so we don't end up playing 120 and all the additional cost that comes with that and logistics. Unless, of course, as you mentioned rightly, a course next door opens up and it suddenly gets into that, then I think we should bump that in.
I mean, how good would that be? I mean, if we're still alive at that point, going to watch the Ryder Cup in Bolton. I mean, it feels kind of wrong. But
well, when are they planning to go for it?
Is it like 2045 or 2035?
I mean, mate, we're going to be alive then. Sure. What are you planning on doing?
I mean, that's 20 years. You never know what's going to happen in 20 years, do you?
I mean, I know we're old, but
You wouldn't even be 60.
I was looking in your two directions rather than mine.
So. But... I thought, death isn't the thing that I thought would stop us from putting there.
Yeah, going back into employment at some point soon, maybe. When you look at your retirement age and you have to review your pension benefits and things, and it says your retirement age is your selected retirement age.
Nominated
125.
Retirement year, is 2047.
2047.
Yeah.
Wow.
Is it? Yeah. You're definitely older than that. Are you lying to your financial advisor?
I'm my financial advisor.
There you go.
You're only lying to yourself, Jim.
The Wolf of Wall Street over here. If only. I know. Yeah, it'd be great.
It's not quite the same when you're hanging out of a Ford Fiesta, is it?
And you're in Manchester rather than in New York. Vauxhall Astra, by the way. Thank you.
So I think looking at I did think it was all hidden away, and actually when I looked at the website, because you're so blinded by looking at your lists and figuring out where things are and whatever, it isn't hidden away on the website at all, is it? There's a section right at the footer.
I kind of thought it was, but
ratings and rankings. Well, I mean, you have to get to the bottom of a web page. Who does that, I suppose?
Well, yeah, exactly.
Do you not read the privacy notice? Because that's the first thing I
Is that the first thing? Yeah, I get sick of those, like cookie consent, privacy notice, terms of government.
I don't like accepting cookies, but there's the occasional when you're just like, I cannot fucking find the reject, so I'm just accepting it.
Yeah.
Or the ones
do your worst.
Or those websites that actually stipulate it's like, by continuing to this website, then by default you're agreeing to all the cookies.
Oh, you must look at different websites to me, Jim.
Oh. So, I think let's explore what the official rankings and how they're done. I gather it's committee based. They have a load of assessors who go out and they rate courses, and then they submit it to the committee, and then the committee sort of take out any biases or anything like that. I mean, I don't know what that means, but it says, we take out any outliers. I get that. Somebody might go, oh, it was amazing, and everybody else has said it's all right. So fair enough. I suppose that's more statistics, isn't it? You look at averaging it out properly, but so they do that, and then the biases bit didn't really make any sense to me. I wasn't sure what that was all about, but hey, let's go with it. But there's 5 things that they look at, or they're assessing overall and ranking these courses on. and apparently it's all about promoting strategic golf.
What?
Yeah, exactly. So I was a bit like, oh, what is strategic golf all about?
Have you not been watching me, Nish?
I haven't been watching. Sorry,
you've not been watching me when I'm playing.
Oh well, yeah. We take
it's about
every
strategic
strategy.
as it gets.
So okay, so their official definition is that strategic golf is varied, interesting, engaging golf that asks questions answered by different golfers in different ways. Do you understand what that means?
I think my face gives that away. That's a load of gobbledygook.
Yeah, I mean, what does that mean?
I mean, again, is it trying to say that like there's more than one way of skinning a cat kind of thing? Like there's maybe different ways you could play the hole. I guess it's that risk reward kind of thing. I suppose maybe, isn't it? Maybe that's what it's trying.
Well, who was it? They're saying here now.
There's different parameters they could use in terms of what they're doing. It's the aesthetics. When you're at every single hole, what does the actual that hole look like?
Yeah, what is it? Glad you said that.
Oh dear.
Oh god, there's so many outtakes from that. Yeah, okay. Well, moving swiftly on. The 5 criteria that they do use. I'm just trying to see if any of this applies to what you just said, Jim. So, number 1 is course architecture.
So I mean,
that is what does it look like? Strategic challenge, which we'll understand what that is in a bit. Variety.
Spice of life.
Is the spice of life? Yeah. Consistency of caliber. I don't know if that's to do. Well, I suppose we'll find out in a minute. But that's to do with the reputation of a course or something. I don't know.
Well, I guess the consistency of caliber is
that
are all
standard
18 holes good, right?
Right. Yeah. Okay.
So
yeah,
somewhere like Aberdeen that we're going to go and play is renowned for having one of the best front nines in golf. So I think that's said a lot of that course.
Really,
but then the back nine.
Right, is the back nine not
is much less interesting because it's a bit kind of flatter and you're out of the dunes and stuff. So it's I guess that consistency of caliber is all.
Are all the holes good?
Yeah, do you get all the way around with that consistency?
Like Moortown, where you spend all the money on one hole,
yeah,
and then the rest of
call
it.
But
actually, ironically, he did. I think he had a good. What are we calling it? Consistency of caliber. That's the all 18 holes are good.
Interesting you say that about Royal Aberdeen. So as I was doom scrolling on Instagram, as you do. I read on somebody's post, and it was, I think they'd screenshotted the person's post. I don't know who this person is, but they said, very well respected golf writer has just given his top 3 golf courses that he's played in the last 2 years or something like that. So number 1 was Rosapina.
Right.
I can't remember which one it was, but one of them Rosapina. It'd be whichever the one is supposed to be considered the better one. Not St. Patrick's, I think, basically. That's a new one, isn't it? Royal Aberdeen, number 2.
Yeah.
And guess what was number 3?
Was it Reddish Vale?
Oh, imagine if it was Reddish Vale. Maybe that's why the membership fees have gone up.
Hey!
It was Sillerton Solway.
Was it?
Yeah.
Legend.
Sillerton Solway. Actually, I think it was because I follow them now. So it must have been because they reposted it or whatever.
Yeah.
Because they've just been nominated for an award for like English Golf Course of the Year.
Oh, right, okay.
So they're making a big thing about it, and I think now they posted a video about, I think it was their club president or someone like that was on saying we're really trying to get people understanding about our course and how good it is. So it's not just seen as it's a stop off on the way to Scotland. It's like you'll make a way to come over here. I think they're planning on doing a few more things with the clubhouse and stuff to make it a bit more destination. But that was brilliant. I mean, obviously we're playing Royal Aberdeen next year, so we're playing 2 of those 3.
Yeah.
That quick.
We're getting into the.
It's good.
Yeah, the nuts and bolts of it, aren't we? Yeah.
Yeah. Beatty. Maybe he's from Cumbria as well. Who knows?
Probably.
And the Cumbrian brainwashing. Yeah, and then so consider caliber, and then the last one is golf course and land management. So let's dive into what each thing means. So. Those are your 5 things. Golf course architecture. So they said, sound golf course architecture is not easily distilled into a few words, especially when applied to golf courses around the entire planet. I mean, it's sounding wishy-washy, isn't it, this?
Yeah, I mean, it's like they've got me to write it.
Total bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
So it says golf courses are built to suit different objectives, budgets, landscapes, and climates. Yes, that's fine. So the first three fundamental principles of golf course architecture are routing, which is a major aspects of routing should be considered is walkability,
Walkability.
which
Is that a word?
well sounds impressive. For example, the distance between greens and tees. All right, okay, fair enough.
It'd be great
Right.
if you just had like a golf course and you had like 6 miles in between holes, so you just had like a full
Well,
6 mile
they just
walk
brought
between
that
the
up.
first
They
and the
just said
second.
long walks and steep climbs can be indicators of unimaginative routing that should be avoided if possible. Oh, right, okay. So basically, they're saying, have you just gone, oh, let's just make this difficult for people, and then that's a challenge in itself. Like you've got to just keep hitting it long and long and long, and that's not necessarily a good golf course, is it? I suppose is what they're saying. Superb examples of exceptional routings are the Old Course in St Andrews and Muirfield. Okay. Green complexes. So the green complex includes the immediate approach greenside hazards as well as the putting surface itself. So the green complexes should be drivers of strategic play. So, okay, right, that makes a bit more sense. Like, is it risk reward, all that kind of thing, right? Use of landscape. So landscape use for golf come in many forms. There are examples of ideal natural links. Compelling golf can be found using minimalist routings. I mean,
It's all about the routines.
it's easy to find, but it's not really still clear, is it? But I suppose it's because it's difficult, isn't it? It's subjective ultimately.
I mean, I guess a lot of this kind of lends itself to links courses. Really, that's what I'm thinking in my mind.
Yeah,
like
I think so.
How do you work your way through all those sand dunes
Correct.
and kind of like how do you make the best out of that?
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, those lumps and mounds and whatever else you've got going on.
I think so. All right, let's move on. Right, course architecture, that's that done. Strategic challenge. So we were wondering what that was. So, okay, so this is pretty good. We do not reward courses that are simply difficult. That's fair enough. Penal golf where restrictive and attritional is not favoured. So just because a course is difficult is not going to get you right. Okay, that's good. And I think they said it's because it makes it nearly impossible for weaker or average players to actually play the golf course, which is fair enough. They should be playable but enjoyable for the weaker player. That's a new phrase on me, a weaker player. It actually says here that it rewards more width on a hole. Width is always a factor in having multiple routes and therefore options. Whereas if it's narrow, you've only got one place to go, haven't you?
Straight down the middle.
Straight down the middle. This is a killer, isn't it? This episode. I didn't realise there's so much innuendo bingo in this one.
There's a lot of routing going on.
Do they even know about this? Well, have they read it back and just gone, "Oh my God, what have we done? What have we done?" It's coming up on like filters, isn't it? When people navigate to this website, it's like, sorry, you can't see this website. It's working hours, NSFW, is it? Not suitable for work. Variety. So variety in play and presentation. Yeah. So rather than facing the monotony of the same hole or shot type. Okay. I see Reddish Vale do well there. I think variety because there's a lot of different types of
very much so, yeah.
different types of holes there. Consistency. So right, consistency of caliber. This is great. I'm just trying to make you laugh now. I don't see what I can say. Consistency refers to the quality and consistency of both the individual holes and the golf course as a whole. So that's exactly what you said. Is it a gentle opener and then a load of dull holes, or oh my goodness, they're doing it deliberately now. Conversely, do you hit the highest notes before running out of steam prematurely? I mean, they're having a laugh with this, surely. Is it because they know nobody's going to get down and read this? I don't know. This feels.
It's contrived.
Someone's taking a piss with this. Someone's taking a piss. Or maybe I should have read this before it came off.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, maybe I did. I just left it to see your natural reaction. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Look, here we go. A consistent course doesn't need to be 18 holes of crescendo. They can be ebb and flow, sometimes referred to as compression and release. This is dodgy, isn't it?
Hot stuff, isn't it?
It's like, Aaron, go, you need to leave. You can't. Okay, right. I think that's consistency. Golf course and they can't make golf course and land management sound vaguely erotic in any way. Surely.
I mean, I feel like I've got less of an idea about how these courses are
I'm the
ranked
same.
after listening to
Like,
this.
this is good. Like, what is this all about now?
Yeah.
So conditioning. They keep saying what it doesn't refer to, but rather it doesn't really tell you what it is. So, what is it now? Is the rough well maintained or has it been left unchecked? Long rough is not always negative, so long as it
Depends
allows.
which decade you're talking
Oh
about.
my goodness. They've done it with this as well. So long as it allows one to find and advance the ball without too much ball. This is not right, is it? This is not right. Oh, are the gorse and trees managed to avoid them encroaching?
Encroaching.
Upon play.
Encroaching.
Encroach.
Tiger, hidden dragon.
Okay, right. I think we might be getting to now the nitty-gritty. So forget all those 5 things. It now says that the aspects that are purposefully excluded. So that's good. A top 100 golf course, it's the golf course we rank rather than the experience. That's important. So that's fine. A golf club's perceived exclusivity, clubhouse amenities, or level of service should not be considered as part of the golf course's position in the ranking.
So I think you need to take this on board, Chris, when you're judging and ranking
I
your
know.
own. But that it's not about
Club
the
sandwich,
It's not about the club sandwich.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure we'll get to the club sandwich section somewhere.
I
Down
think,
there.
there is. I think in the FAQs,
scroll down a bit.
do you rate the club sandwich?
Yes, they do.
It says some inflate the position of a mediocre golf course in a beautiful setting, but we resist the temptation. Conversely, we must also not be biased against great golf in a less than inspired location. Carnoustie may be a good example of this. What, is it in like a really rough area or something? Carnoustie?
I don't know.
No
Have you
idea.
been?
Somebody else said this about Carnoustie as well. Was it Alex, I think, when we interviewed him? And he said something about there was, like Carnoustie is a great golf course. It's just it has a bit of a bad rep or something. I think he said something like that. This is a new thing for me. But it's good to know then that it's golf.
Yeah,
Solely
pure
on
golf.
golf. Which brings me onto then our rankings.
Yep.
That's what we've done, haven't we?
Basically the
We've done
opposite.
it. Well,
We're doing
well,
club sandwiches
we've
and the
discussed
experience
everything,
of the
yeah.
day.
I think it's interesting that, isn't it? Because I think we sort of do see that stuff. Like I think that's important. Like, what's the experience like? We're not. Interestingly enough, actually, when we had the chat about where we do place the course, we only played 3, so we've ranked them as top 3.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're going to maintain a top 3. That's the main featured ones. We'll have the list expanded out to 10.
Yeah.
And then we'll see if anything that new that we play jumps into that list at all. We did do it on the golf, didn't we? Probably without really realising it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you're there to play the course, aren't
Correct.
you? So you are definitely in your mind's eye, you're thinking, I'm here to rate this course, right? Well, not to rate it, I'm here to enjoy it, but you're here to...
You're judging the course.
You're judging the course rather than what goes with it. However, I'd say, most average golfers, they're going to go and play one of these top 100 courses.
Yeah,
they're going to pay 400 quid. They are there for an experience. They're not there to, pick the bones out of that course. They're there to have a freaking brilliant day. They're going to pay 400 quid. They want a brilliant experience that they're not going to forget. They're going to remember for the next 20 years of their life.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see whether the experience that we have will impact those rankings, versus the pure kind of golf course rankings that they've got, on us going in there expecting an experience, whether or not that will have a big impact on the, our rankings versus theirs. Because I think we will take that into account more, because these guys probably haven't paid to go there, right? They're going on a jolly and they're going to go
and
walk around the course for 5 hours, and they're not going to be there having that experience. So
that's true.
They can kind of do that, in silo, and just think, right, we're here to look at this course, but we're not going to do that because we're going to be.
I suppose your experience is going to be different because they may have been to those courses on numerous occasions over the years, whereas for a lot of these are your very first times experiencing that and being visiting those particular establishments. So.
I suppose they're probably a bit numb to it as well, aren't they? They've played some of the greatest courses in the world.
Yeah.
And it's like, actually, we're judging the golf now here.
Yeah.
Played it before.
Yeah. Whereas at the minute, I think we're still quite wide-eyed and starry about it all.
Totally. I don't want to lose that. I really don't want to lose that.
I want to be excited for all 100. I don't want to get to the point where I'm like, I didn't like the bunker placement on hole 16 today.
Incredibly penal placement of a bunker. No. Who would do that? Mackenzie chap.
The consistency of caliber today has been below par.
yeah. I think it's interesting that like we have to cover that. I think a little bit.
I think so. Yeah. I think it's important. I think that's important for if someone's listening to this thinking I might go and pick one of those from listening to us guys talking about it.
Yeah.
I think that experience is pretty.
Well, like we said about, but example, and this is great because at the moment we only have the 3 to compare.
Yeah.
Right. So everything's fresh in the memory. But like Moortown, openly we were like, it's 125 quid. You don't really get much for it, whatever. But actually, we rocked up.
Yeah.
And your range balls are included, and it's like, okay, well, that only might cost me a few quid.
Yeah.
I thought that felt amazing.
So when I walked up Moortown, I was like, that was the best round I've ever played. That was better than Silith.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of that was probably to do with the whole experience. Because I think when I stood back and after a couple of weeks actually reflected on it, I was like, actually, it's not better than Silith. Like, Silith is definitely a better golf course, but I think you get wrapped up in that experience, right? Don't you? And we just had from start to finish that experience was.
I'm gonna have a look
brilliant.
at this as well. So while you're chatting,
so they must have some comments about each of those courses, then, would you?
I think they give a full.
But I don't think they'll give you it in those terms. I don't think it's easy to kind of unpick how they've ranked it on those 5 criteria.
Oh, okay. No, fair enough. So we ranked our top 3 as we've done so far. We've done Silith number 1.
Yeah.
Which was ranked 46. That's the highest rank that we've played so
Yeah.
far. And it's everybody. It's a really unheralded course. Like more people need to know about it.
Yeah.
We ranked Moortown 2nd.
Yeah.
That was 98th.
Okay.
And we ranked SNA 3rd, and that was 97th.
Right. Okay. So we've only switched one around.
We switched one around.
Pretty close anyway.
Pretty close, but yeah. Okay. So kind of.
But from discussing with you and hearing you on the podcasts, I mean, I think there was quite a big differential between the experiences, certainly between Moortown and SNA.
Yeah.
But then the golf was probably closer, I think, in those terms.
Yeah,
I
don't.
I don't know how much the experience we had at Moortown played into the the rating that we gave the course.
Yeah.
That course. I don't know if we went and played it again and we had some grumpy bastard greet us at the course and it was raining or whatever. I wonder how much our view of that course would change. I think
it's quite interesting actually. When you do to Wales and you've got 2 back-to-back.
Yeah,
that'd be
2 days.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting. Particularly if you would have played it the other way around, would Amadaveri or whatever it is, on Royal same day would be better because you played that first, and I get knackered. So it's, you're playing for the second day.
I mean that's true. Or that it tanks it down on the second day, and it was glorious.
Or how much you drank the night before. I mean,
that's always going to be a high volume of alcohol. Let's be honest.
Well, good job you're playing kind of middle of the day.
Yeah, we'll keep that consistent over the weekend.
Yeah.
Just make sure you get equally as pissed on the Thursday night
and
the Friday night.
Imagine like you just get to the point. It's like, right, okay. In order to be fair on these courses, we've got to down a couple of pints before we go out.
We're going to drink the exact same amount every single time.
We're having a club sandwich everywhere, so we're drinking the same amount everywhere as well. That's how we're going to do it. Okay, well, I suppose it's quite nice to know that that's then validated what we thought course-wise. It was definitely better than Moortown and SNA.
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, but that's what we're going to do. But that has to be subjective. Ours can't be based on any scores or anything like that. It's just how we felt on the day and the golf. But we are going to try and strip that back to the golf. Like I really enjoyed the golf at Moortown. I thought the holes were so interesting to look at everywhere we went. Yes, that's what we're going to do. But what we will do, because I do think that experience bit is important, because like that is a very valid way of looking at it, that most people, and us included, we're experiencing this as rank amateurs, and that bit is important. And if you're going to go and spend 400 or 500 quid somewhere with everything included, you need to know, am I getting good value for what I'm doing, and what does that entail? So does that entail, Eddie was amazing at Moortown in terms of talking to a representative of a golf club. I think you couldn't find anybody better. It was so good. And then just
you got 97 people out there who are all thinking, "Fucking hell, we've got to up our game now." Because Eddie.
Only problem is that none of those 97 people are listening to this, Jim.
Eddie's been tapped up, I reckon. One of the top courses are going for trying to get Eddie involved now. I think that's how we're going to do our system, and obviously that's going to be all on the website. We're going to type it up properly. Yeah. Okay. But then following on from that, we're also then doing something called the Dream 18, which is every course we play, we're going to see if there's a hole that we really, really, really liked that we want to nominate as one of the best holes we've ever seen.
Okay.
I think I've misunderstood the Dream 18. I thought this was just you ranking your best Nick Doherty dreams. Top 18.
Top 18 dreams featuring Nick Doherty.
So it's not like it's not the best first hole, best second hole. You know, it's the
no. I
just
don't think we
the
can
top,
do it like that.
that
To be
way,
honest, I
okay.
think it's too. You know,
It's easy now, but then when you get to
yeah,
kind of
like we're getting into almost like
Yeah,
what's the
50.
ebb and flow of a golf course, and that's like getting into golf course proper design, isn't it? And don't really know that, do we? It's probably too much. It's just these are going to be
your memories of
our memories. Yeah, if something jumps out at us and we think, oh my god, that was just an amazing golf hole to play, then it will hopefully land somewhere in the top 18. We'll keep a couple in reserve.
I think interestingly, I think that 5 list, that that 5 criteria that they've got, I think ultimately it just boils down to the architecture, right? Because that's pretty much what it looks like, what it's like to play. I think it pretty much, if you
has it been
distill it
positioned
down,
right in the landscape that it's in?
Yeah.
Is it enough of a? When there was, we'll sort of get to them. The third on at Silith. I mean, that probably out of the 54 holes of golf that we played, that stands out, doesn't it?
I mean, that's still one of my favourite holes of all.
It's
the
a great
golf
golf hole.
Yeah, it's a brilliant golf hole.
And it's interesting because there's no imagery that can capture that. I don't think.
What's so good about it? I mean,
it was.
I've never played Sillet, so
I don't know. I mean, it's lovely. It's quite an easy hole to play actually, but I don't know.
Is it?
Yeah, I mean, it's quite short.
We played it well. We both parred it, by the way.
Right?
But
so you can hit an eye. I mean,
it's a blind
there's
tee
no
shot,
winds up, yeah.
And you're going into a valley.
So it's like a perfect V, isn't it? So you just got this little V of like.
But then if you hit
dunes.
too big, you've gone because it turns a little bit to the left. So you go over the valley, the V. Sorry, you get into the dip, and then the golf hole turns to the left, and there's a big dip, and then the tee. It's a Mackenzie designed hole actually. So the green's elevated.
Big raised elevated green, yeah.
Yeah, and it everything on the left of it just falls, and it's just crap. And anything to the right, there's a big bank up there. So yeah, the ball goes well over that or gets snagged in there. So it's a demanding approach shot. The green wasn't as
no, it's a relatively flat green. Like there's a gentle kind of
it's
right
sort
to
of
left slope on it.
I've nailed you with the approach. I'm going to go easy on you on the.
Yeah,
but that's great.
It's quite. If you play it well, it's quite an easy hole to play. But as soon as you get out of position on that hole,
oh yeah, you're done.
You're done
for. Yeah. So I think that, and I've attempted to anyway sort of describe a little bit about that hole as well, so people can get a bit of a flavour of it, because I certainly didn't know anything about the third on Silith at all, and it was you were playing it off memory, weren't you? Like, I know this is a good hole. So we did that. We had the 5th at Moortown, which was a great golf hole. So you tee off, tees next to another green, I think, and then there's a brook running right in front of you. But the whole, like, the tee box is pointing you to, not at the green or anything like that. It's pointing you sort of down this direction. It's avoiding a load of there's 2 trees that are in the way to the green. The green is drivable, I think, for big hitters, and it's like pick your tree that you're going to go for, really. I think.
Yeah, you get your driver out, aim just left of the big tree, or you can hit a 7-iron and go to the right of it.
You go to the right of it, and then that's strategic.
Or you could do what I did and just hit a 5-wood into the shit.
Into the brook. Yeah, that's it. I picked. There were 2 trees. There's one that's the tree that if you hit that and you get clear that tree, that's heading towards the green. Or there's the one that's just to the right of it. I picked that one, and it's a very rare occurrence, this, Jim. I said that's the tree that I'm going over, and that's exactly where the ball went. I was like, oh man. So even when I've hit this absolute peach of a drive, it's just stupid, really. Why don't you just go, yeah, great, well, good shot. I was like, why didn't I pick the tree? Because I absolutely spanked it, and it went dead straight over that tree.
Yeah.
And it was just a fantastic hole of golf.
It's a great hole, yeah.
Really enjoyed it. And again, not too difficult, lovely approach shot.
It's amazing what you remember actually. I mean, I couldn't say I could create a top 18, someone who played about 5 courses in my life, but you do remember some of the good.
Yeah. You always got that 1 or 2 holes that you just take away with you, don't you?
Yeah. Well, usually it's associated with playing it well, but the next one, which is the 4th, and so I didn't play well at all.
No, you really didn't, did you?
Really didn't.
I actually don't think you could have played it much worse than you played it.
Yeah, it was awful, wasn't it? But I totally agree that it was a great golf hole because it's a sort of semi-blind tee shot. You have to
Well, I mean, it is
pick
a blind
spot.
because it doesn't look that blind, but actually you don't fully appreciate what's kind of below you and
the-
kind
this
of down to the
dip
right.
that
So you've got this
comes
big
out.
kind of fairway that runs off down to the right.
Yeah,
So actually, it looks like a really daunting tee shot, but
Yeah.
actually in reality, it's not. There's a massive wide fairway, and you
yeah,
basically
yeah.
hit it anywhere towards the left, and it'll just run down to the right,
And you
you're in a
could
decent
easily take
position.
an iron off that tee and let it run
Yeah.
down.
I mean, I think that's
You
sensible
know.
players hit the iron first.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, yeah. What did I do to the driver? Yes. So that was another, and then again, I think it's the green is raised up again, isn't it?
I don't really know. It's not raised up, but it's just it's cut away down the right hand side. So there's this
that was
huge
it,
kind
yeah.
of like
Yeah,
basin
huge
kind of
drop.
down the right hand side. It's a very narrow green,
Yeah,
kind of
think I
narrow
ended up
thin green that runs up to the side. But then there's just if you anything right, and basically it's
you've had it.
double bogey. So you got to be really accurate. So like it's
I'd be happy with
it's
a
not a
double
long
bogey.
shot in, but if you're hitting a wedge in, but if you miss it by 10 yards to the right,
Yeah.
that's it. It's hole over.
That was a good hole. And then for the last one we picked the third at Southport and Ainsdale.
Okay.
SNA, yeah. That's for a couple of reasons. It was the tee shot is quite high up, and you can on the left hand side you see the famed train line,
Oh yeah.
but you can see all of Hillside, the whole course. To your left, you can see.
a little better.
No comment. Yeah, you see the whole of that, but then you could also see a really good chunk of SNA at that point as well. It's all sort of laid out in front of you, so it was a great tee box.
Yeah, I love an elevated
Elevated
box.
tee is always good, isn't it?
Yeah.
It was a bit of a daunting drive because where the bunkers, that was definitely like a bunker left, 20 yards on bunker right, 20 yards on bunker left. So you're thinking, I've got to hit this narrow. Not a big hit, but you've
No.
got to hit it narrow.
Little 5-wood.
And then lovely approach shot because it's the green has like a fringe of trees all behind it. So as you approach, I mean, I love that anyway. When you hit your approach shot or any shot, and you can see the ball contrasting against the trees. Yeah, go on, sorry.
It's quite an unusual view for a links course because you don't normally get that kind of
No, you don't.
tree, sort of trees around the back of the green. It's almost a bit of a weird mix between, which I think South SNA was really, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's kind of, it is a links course, but in some aspects it feels like a parkland in a lot of it. So those trees behind the green, but it feels very much like a parkland. So I guess it's kind of unusual just for that reason, isn't it?
There's a lot of it sheltered, weren't they?
Yeah.
But again, it was a magnificent hole of golf. And I think we both parred that as well.
Both play well there.
Yeah, so we both played it really well. So that obviously helps, doesn't it?
What's quite interesting from my perspective is that from our discussions before you did the two courses. I mean, I don't think we touched on it at Sillith particularly, but certainly for Moortown and SNA we did. What were the signature holes? And it was Gibraltar at Moortown, and it was the 16th at SNA, and neither of you have chosen those to be.
No,
we haven't.
No.
It's an interesting point.
I wonder with the Moortown, we said it, didn't we? I wonder with Moortown if all the budget got spent on this one hole kind of thing. I think that I feel they've been railroaded into. That's our signature hole. That's the best hole. All this kind of stuff. I think they've got better golf holes there. I really do.
Well, that's judged by your selection, actually.
Because I was just having a look. I was trying to think what it was, but yeah, the 13th at Sillith is considered its signature hole, which is a great hole.
I don't
but it's not
remember
the
it.
one.
What's
it's the par 5. It's the par 5 that's in like two weird sections.
Oh, I hated that hole.
You hated that hole.
I mean, I hated it for two reasons. I felt that was
overly penal.
That felt too hard.
Yeah, it's a hard hole.
That was like, if you play there and you know what to sort of do with it, that's fine.
Yeah.
If you just rock up, you haven't got like a yardage book.
Look at the scorecard, you're thinking, oh, right.
Yeah, like
where there,
was
but, it's
the
not
whole
a big map.
I knew because I was with Chris and he knew. He was like, yeah, so that's where we're going. But
yeah. And
then you sort of get through. You have to hit through this little valley bit, and you can't. It's high up, but it's a V. But then you go through it, and you're like, what's on the other side? I just have no idea. And you're expecting, because if it ends up in some gorse or heather, you've lost the ball.
I think it's one of those. Once you played it a couple of times, it's actually not that difficult.
It's not.
If you play it as a par 5 and play it as a 3-shotter, it's not that difficult. You can hit a driver, a 7-iron, and a wedge into it, and it's actually. The third shot isn't that difficult. It's the first two shots that are difficult.
Yeah,
I think what we're trying to say basically is that that you need to play all these courses twice because the first time is just trial and error, and the second time
top 220. Yeah. Right. Well, that's our Dream 18, and that's the official ratings, which we've obviously, or ranking system, which we've obviously found out is just Innuendo Central. Our ranking system isn't. It's just
what innuendo central.
Yeah, we just see what we see, and we just like, yeah, let's whack it in there. But we're going to put more commentary about the actual course and stuff like that on the site. So, and obviously we talk about it on the podcast. So
yeah, I think it's a really good reference actually for other people who are interested in going to play any of these courses.
Next time on the Top 110 Golf Podcast, it's our Christmas special.